So in this video I will talk about my story. It's a heartfelt conversation from me to you, and I'm doing this conversation. I am making this video because I know I really saw a lot of people who really need some kind of advice or some kind of help. And my story starts 2 years back uh, when I was 20 years old. Like now I am 22, but 2 years back I was living in a place from depression, anxiety, a place of lack, and I constantly surround myself with people who were not had the best interest in their heart for me. And somehow I knew that my intuition keeps telling me that yes, the people that I surrounded with, not the right kind of people that gave me the right guidance that I needed in my life. And I saw a lot of people that today's depression is like so common. I'm just 22, and I went through depression in my 20s. I like in the year when I get like after my birthday, I was devastated, and I don't know why I did feel like that. I was stressed out. I was constantly living from pressure. I'm trying to fit in the society. I don't know why. I'm trying to becoming someone that the society wants to be. I'm trying to hard to not to feel alienated from my friends, from my people, and that kept giving me that sense of depression. And first I heard my first time I heard my soul like screaming to me that I cannot take this shit anymore. I cannot, like, my soul is like begging me to get out from the place that I am in. I was sorry, not I am, I was in. And it's hard, it was hard. Like I was so familiar with those people. I was constantly living from depression. I remember I had taken sleeping pills in order to get some rest, in order to get some sleep at night. I remember one day I went to the chemist, and the chemist told me that, how old are you? He asked me how old I am, and like I told him I am 20, and he couldn't believe that I was 20 years old, and I was taking sleeping pills in order to get some sleeps. Like you can imagine what my condition was back then. And it was so hard, like heart-wrenching when I talk about this thing. But I really want to talk about this thing because I know people were like this. I couldn't sleep for years, for almost 2 years. I need some kind of medications to get a healthy amount of sleep. That's what my condition is all about. I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of things that really taught me a lot of lessons, I would say. And the reason behind my depression, now I know why I was depressed. The reason behind my depression is that I wanted to become someone who I was not. Like I was trying to become someone who I was not. I'm trying to become fit in the society. It's almost like most of the people can relate. In when we are child, we live from so much happiness. We constantly radiating happiness. We constantly try to be happy. Like, we don't try. It's just so natural to be happy. We don't care about the world. We don't care. We live in our own set of bubble. But when we come to a place of teenage, that's the thing where it started. Like, in our teenage, the hormonal things started happening. Our perspective towards life started changing. We trying to become so, like, we desperate to become fit in our peer group, in the friend zone. We don't want to feel alone. That's I think this is the main reason for a lot of people to feel in a way and live in a way which is not at all good for them, which is, I can say, is deadly. Like, the way I was living 2 years back was like, I was like dying from inside. I was like dying from inside, and I was not dying at one time. I was dying installment, like in installment. Like, in one day I'm dying certain percent, and that was such a bad experience. But I'm grateful to God that that's the experience that made me who I am today, that made me realize that who I am today. Negative emotions, negative feelings is so common. It's almost like our brain is like wired in a way that it's natural that we only think about the worst case scenario. Suppose I'm going in street, and if I see a big car coming towards me, I will not think otherwise. I will only think like, oh my God, what happened if that car will struck me. That's the way our brain is wired, because that's the job of the brain. The job of the brain is not to make us feel good. The job of the brain is to make us survive. The brain constantly tries to do everything, constantly doing everything to make us survive in this world. And the social media world today, we live in social media. We live in a virtual world, I can say. But also I love about technology, the advancement of technology, that we can do a lot of things if we take it in a more like positive way. But anyway, that's another thing. I had a epiphany. I reached a place, I've reached a rock bottom in my life 2 years back, and suddenly everything starts changing. Like, everything, every old structure, every old foundation that I was living, like every friendship that I had, every single relationship with everyone that I had start to fading, start to changing. It's almost like the universe has just slapped me in my face to wake me up, to show me that the thing that I wanted is really not I wanted from my heart. It is the seed from the society, like it's the plantation of the seed that the society planting on me. That's I can say. All of a sudden I had that experience. I realized, like, life is not what I thought it was. I realized that One day I wake up in the morning, and I I thought, like, what's going on? Why I am in this place? Why I was so miserable? Like, why I'm so miserable? Why I'm so depressed? I don't even know I was depressed. Like, I look at me like, why am I'm looking like this? I thought it's normal. I thought living from a place of stress is normal. And that's the norm of today's life. That's the norm that people think from living is stress, living from a place of stress is normal. But no, that's not. And then I become start like become aware about my conditions, aware about my symptoms, and what I was facing through, what I was going through. I start attaching meaning to it. It's almost like the universe just shaking me to wake my eyes, to just open my eyes, and I attach meaning to it. That was the first spiritual awakening I had in my life, and I'm so grateful to God that that happened to me. That happened to me because, you know, you never know what happened in life. You never realized. 2 years back, I had a lot of another kind of dream. I wanted to be an IAS officer, like, because my family told me that from my childhood that becoming an IAS officer, becoming like IPS officer, IAS officer, or doing an Indian Foreign Service is the most honorable job that you can do, and in that way only you can have the life that you wanted to have. And that's something that they just programmed me for. And I did that. I wanted to become that, not even realizing that that's not what my true heart is all about. My heart is doing things which is now I am doing. And I realized, and I started finding purpose in everything that I can do. I started going inward. I started seeing myself from inside. I remember I had a friend whom I was so close with. She and me were like so close to each other, but I really loved her. Like, I really loved her a lot. I thought she's my good friend, but she did cheated on me. Like, whatever I told her, she will go and tell it to everyone else behind me, and I was not aware of all those things. I was not aware that that person the person that I think is my good friend is actually not my good friend. And I trusted her a lot. I said her a lot of things about my life, but she told it to a lot of people, and they made fun of me a lot of time, and I was not aware of that. But suddenly I knew. Suddenly I found out, and that broke my heart. And then I started saying things, like I started saying the person, which kind of person I'm making friendship with. Is there true to me? Is there really have the, like, does it help me to grow, or it helped me to become the person that I wanted to be? And I get my answers no. I get my answers no. That the person that I thought was my friend is not actually my friend. but she taught me a lot of lessons. I think I did a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of mistakes in my life. I was like a bank of mistake, you can say. But now when I look back, I realized that every mistakes I did was really not a mistake. It was a lesson. It was a lesson that I needed to learn. I needed to learn, and those lessons taught me so many things, and it shaped my nature. It shaped my character. My I would say my spiritual journey started 2 years back when I hit the rock bottom of my life, when like everything was good, but suddenly everything started shaking. Everything like just broken down into pieces, into ashes, and I saw all those things. I learned that every person in my life that I have, it's reflecting something, that reflecting some part of me. They are just mirroring some part of me which I need to solve inside me. And my spiritual journey started, and I practice a lot of things. I practice meditation. I started doing meditation. I did meditation not because I wanted to, because I had no other choice. I had no other choice because I don't want to stay the way I was, because that was so miserable, and I don't want to wish anyone this type of life. Like I had everything, but still I was so numb. I was so depressed. It's almost like nothing is left inside me. I was numb. I don't feel any feeling for months. If I sat somewhere, I sat somewhere for so many hours, not even realizing that I'm sitting there, constantly taking people's opinion, people's advice. Is my, I think like I thought like my life is back then is all about how people saw me. It's like I was a people pleaser. In short, in one word, that I was a people pleaser. And then everything starts changing for the better, changing for the good. I started meditation, in which saved my life in so many ways. I started doing practice to forgive people. That's, I think, the most important thing I learned from all my mistakes. I will not say mistake, but all my lessons. And I found a very interesting thing, that I keep attracting people of same nature, of same kind of what I would say, same kind of behavior, unless I learn a particular lesson. When I realized that, oh my God, I am the one who is attracting all this negative, toxic people to my life. It is me, it is some energetical alignment inside me that is attracting all these people to my life. I started changing it. I started changing inside, because I knew now that everything that we see outside is just the reflection of us, of our inner being. When you live from a place of anger, stress, anxiety, constant pressure, frustration, your life becomes miserable. You cannot live from that negative emotions, and we all had those things. we all had those things, but it's just we need to acknowledge that those emotions needs to go from our system in order to be happy. Just like just like learning driving or um, learning something new, we have to learn to forgive people. When I started forgiving people, my life changed. When I when I started forgiving them, I remember inside me, like my inner environment, becoming less stressful, less toxic. When I started forgiving everyone, including me, like I started forgiving me for every stupid thing that I did. I forgave the 3 years old of me. I forgive the 5 years old of me. I forgive them. I forgive all the people who ever hurt me, ever broke my heart, ever um, tried to demotivate me, tried to put me down. I forgive them, because that's a practice I cultivate every day in my life, and I'm I'm so happy that I practice that thing. It makes my life such easy. Now my inner environment, my inner being is so peaceful, pleasant, and I live from a place of love, compassion, abundance, richness, because I know who I am. I ask myself the question that I think everybody needs to ask themselves. The life that you are living, is it the true life that you really want to live? I started asking myself who I am. Who I am in the sense, not the identity that my parents gave me. No, not the identity that the society gave me. Beyond the identity, beyond being a girl, beyond being a daughter, beyond being any character that is I'm playing right here. I ask myself in a bigger way who I really am and who I really want to become. I ask myself, it's not one day, like it's not going to happen. You ask yourself in one day and the answer will come. No. You have to ask yourself every day in order to know who you are. And I ask myself why I'm here. Why? Because I know that I came from somewhere. I'm staying here for some period of time, and after I die, after this I leave this body, I have to go back to somewhere, and I don't know where I came from. And that's important to realize that the person that you think you are is not you are. In this world, if you think that alone you can do anything, I don't think it's going to be possible, because you cannot do anything without the help of the superpower. The universe is constantly providing us, constantly taking care of us. When I was depressed, I don't even bother to take food. When I was depressed back 2 years back, I don't even bother to sleep. But some greater power is taking care of me, is taking care of my breathing, is taking care of my function of my organs, which I don't even know how it is happening. I realized that I am more than what I think. I'm more. I started loving myself. I started praising myself. I started um, acknowledging who I am, and I started give zero shit about anyone. Now I don't care what anyone's think about me, but I do care what I think about myself. I do care what my heart, my soul tells me who I am. Life is so beautiful. Don't waste your time. Just just acknowledge yourself. Be little less harder on yourself. Don't need to beat you, like don't need to beat yourself up all the time. We are here. I think it's my journey. It's the journey of my soul. It's not a mere incident. It is pre-planned. It is planned from the universe in such a beautiful way. Life is about, I think, it's a journey of ourself. It's a journey, the constant evolution of our consciousness. Is the journey where our soul, the core essence of our being, get to experience so many things and learn from all those things. Be careful what you are feeding yourself, which kind of people you are surrounding yourself with. I remember when I started YouTube, and after doing 1, 2, 3 videos, like people told me that, what are you doing in YouTube? Why you are doing YouTube? Are you doing comedy? They called my work as comedy. They called my effort as comedy. But do you think I will consider those things? No, I will not consider those things, because I learned to focus on myself. If somebody is saying something to me, it depends on me that whether I will take their advice or I will lead their advice to them. When I don't care when someone is saying something to me and I feel like that thing is not resonating to my life, I will not bother to think about those things. People always accused you of something. No matter how successful you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter how good you are, but still someone finds something lacking in you, and they started accusing of you. But you don't need to listen to all those stupid peoples. Your life is more than that. And always remember, life is all about what meaning that you attach to it. Be careful what kind of meaning that you attach to it. Your life becomes that. And that's my spiritual journey teachers taught me that now I cannot control what outside happens, but I can control how I react to those things, how my reaction will be to those things. Everything that I do right now is going to be a vote for the person that I want to become in the future. So practice gratitude, practice clearing your body. If you feel like your body is raising, your body is filled with anger, let it out. Practice that. All those negative emotions needs to get out from your body, otherwise it will manifest different problems in your body. That's important. And when I felt when I felt overwhelmed, or I felt like um, negative thoughts, I feel negative inside of me, I started writing down. I cry a lot. I let all those things out from my body, and then I burn that paper, so that the things that is stuck in my body needs to get out from my system. Now I'm living from a place of love, place of compassion. And when you live from a place of love and compassion, your life becomes so easier. Your life becomes so much beautiful. You started acknowledging things. You started feeling grateful. When you practice gratitude every day, one day you wake up feeling gratitude. Fake it till you make it. No need to think about others. No need to think what the society is telling you. Ask yourself. We are much more than what we think. Honor yourself. Honor who you are. I honor who I am. I don't give a damn about what anyone think about me, because I know I am pure light. I know I am here. I know I'm loving. I'm compassionate. I love myself, and loving yourself is not a crime. Loving yourself is your birthright. Did you ever see children how they love themselves? They don't even care what anybody thinks. They don't even care what they look like when they cry. They just love themselves. They admire themselves. Be like children. Awaken your inner child within you. So that's it. I forgive everyone who hurt me ever. I move on, and I did YouTube because of the spiritual awakening. I learned a lot of things. In these 2 years. I learned a lot of lessons, and I wanted to help humanity in any way, and I think I found this YouTube to help people, to tell them that we can be more than we think. We are more than we think. So that we never need to feel stressed out, stressful, never ashamed of any experience that you had, never ashamed that if you had any bad or traumatized past, don't afraid or don't ashamed of it. Just let the past out of your system. Learn that lesson and move on. I would say life is always be full of lessons. You cannot skip your classes. You cannot skip the classes of life. If you skip, it will come back to you in a much bigger way. So learn your lessons. Don't afraid to do mistakes. It's okay to do mistakes, because success will not teach you anything. It's your mistakes that taught you, that will help you to make good decisions in the future. I'm so grateful to God that I find a way to share my emotions, share my feelings, and share whatever I learned, whatever I cultivate within me. And that's why the main intention of doing my YouTube is to help people in any way, to help people to become the more version of them, like to help them to be the person they want. I'm not saying follow me, I'm not saying do what I said, but these are the things that help me and help me in my journey. Life is a journey. It's my soul's evolution, it's my evolution of my consciousness. And this is just the beginning. Life will always surprise me, always shock me in different way, and I'm ready for all those things. I'm not hesitating. Oh my god. This video is so long. This video is 35 minutes. Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you these things anyway. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to the end, I just want to finish my video saying that honor yourself who you are. Remember, we are the essence of the divine creator. We are much more than we think, and we can have everything that we want. Don't need to listen what the people saying. Listen to yourself, go inward, and start finding peace within you. That will help you. Till then, namaste. Oh my god, it's so long.